helps you in solving problems related to the half-wave rectifier. In the previous video of basic circuit analysis, we have seen the complete working principle of half-wave rectifier and its related parameters. The video link for half-wave rectifier working principle and the related parameter derivation is given in the description box below. Those who have not watched that video, please do watch that video, and then you will have a complete idea on how to solve problems related to half-wave rectifier. A simple half-wave rectifier circuit is shown here, and the problem statement says, assuming an ideal diode, so which means the diode that was used in the implementation of half-wave rectifier is considered to be ideal, and we need to sketch the VI, the input voltage, VD, voltage across the diode, ID, current through the diode for the half-wave rectifier shown below. And we can consider that the input is a sinusoidal waveform with a frequency of 60 Hz. As the problem states that it is an ideal diode, as of now, we do not consider any potential drop across the diode. So the voltage drop across the diode has not been considered. And now let us start solving the problem to sketch the VI, VD and ID for the half-wave rectifier. To sketch the input voltage waveform, we need to understand what is the maximum peak voltage. So this formula I have taken it from the half-wave rectifier discussion. The video link is shared below. You can see that the VM was equivalent to EM divided by 1 plus RF by RL, and we have also discussed when this RF is going to be, which means the forward resistance of the diode, when this RF is less than RL, we can actually neglect the RF by RL term. So therefore, my VM will be equal to EM. So wherever we have EM, we can just equate to VM as of now. So we also know that VDC was equal to EM into RL by pi into RF plus RL. And here also everywhere you can neglect the RF by RL terms. So then VDC will again become as EM by pi. And since we have equated here VM is equal to EM, so this EM can be equated as VM by pi. So now what is VM? That is what we need, which is equal to pi into VDC. What is pi? Pi is nothing but 3.14 and VDC is given in the problem, which is 2 volt. So 3.14 into 2 volt will give us approximately 6.28 volts. So with this we can sketch the input waveform. Once the VM has been calculated, it is easy for us to calculate the IM, which is VM by R. So here it is R1, which was given. So 6.28 by 2 kilo ohm will give us 3.14 milliamps. Now we know that this is our input voltage signal and this is going to be fed to the diode. And for a half-wave rectifier circuit, we know the working principle that the diode D will conduct only during the positive half cycle. So it is going to conduct only for the positive half cycle of the input waveform. And since we have considered the diode to be an ideal case, there is no voltage drop across the diode during the forward bias. So it will be 0 because now we need to plot VD, voltage across the diode. So this will be 0 during the forward bias during the positive half cycle of the input, and during the negative half cycle of the input, the diode does not conduct, but the voltage across the diode will be minus VM. So that will be there. So this we need to plot here, and this is going to be minus 6.28 volts. Now the left out voltage that has to be calculated is the voltage across this load resistor, which is VL. Across the load, when the diode is in forward bias, whatever input voltage that we have given here for the diode will be reflected across this load resistor. So the voltage across the load resistor VL will be 6.28 volt during the forward bias of the diode. and during the negative half cycle the diode is going to be in reverse bias, so we'll be getting 0 volts. So you can see here how the input has been transformed, the AC signal has been transformed into a pulsating DC as per the half wave rectifier output, and that output only we have measured across this load resistor. Now we have completed all the voltage calculations. Now we will move on for our sketching the current waveforms. For the VM, the corresponding IM calculation we have done earlier. Now we need to find out what is the diode current and what is this IL, the load current across this load resistor R. And for that, we are going to assume that the load resistance RL is equal to 10 kilo ohms. So with this, we are going to solve what is IL first. So IL is going to be VL by RL. VL we know it is 6.28 volts. RL it is 10 kilo ohm. So therefore IL will be 0.628 milliamps. And now the left out thing is we need to find out the diode current, which is equal to IM plus IL. Because IM we have calculated across this R1, so we will be having IM like this. The current across R1 is nothing but IM, and IL is the current through the load resistor. So when you consider this particular junction, it is the sum of currents entering the junction and sum of currents leaving the junction. So therefore you can write your ID as IM plus IL, and now we have the values for IM and IL, which is 3.14 plus 0.628 milliamps, which altogether gives us 3.77 milliamps. So this, if you have to draw the plot, which will look much similar to this and this one, because IL was 0.628 milliamps, so I have drawn it like this, and ID is equal to 3.77 milliamps. So this is how we try to solve problems that are related to the half wave rectifier, and we have also seen how the current waveforms are going to behave, and we have also sketched the voltage waveforms with respect to VM, VD and VM. One more observation we need to understand from the given problem, where the problem statement says that we have to consider that this diode D has to be an ideal diode. But if this is not given, and if this diode is going to be a silicon diode, then we will have a voltage drop of 0.7 volt, and if it is a germanium diode, we will have a 0.3 volt of voltage drop. And in such a case, what you need to do is the DC voltage calculation will vary, because we have understood that VDC is equal to Vm by pi, and with that only we have calculated Vm as VDC into pi. Pi value we know approximately it is 3.14, and VDC is given in the question as 2 volt, and with that we have calculated what was Vm, which was equal to 6.28 volts, and with that only we have estimated what is the load voltage, load current, everything was based on the Vm. So now this Vm will change with respect to the ideal diode considerations. Once we start considering this as a silicon diode with some voltage drop, or a germanium diode with some voltage drop, then my VDC will change to Vm minus 0.7 volt by pi. Instead of VDC equal to Vm by pi, here I will include the voltage drop across the diode, and this is with respect to the silicon diode voltage drop I have considered. So my VDC will change. Now I know approximately what is my pi value. VDC value also it is given in the question. Now just cross multiply this and bring this 0.7 term this side, so that you get your Vm as Vm equal to 6.98 volt. So this is in case of your silicon diode that you are going to consider with a voltage drop of 0.7 volts. So like this also you can expect some questions where instead of giving the question to be an ideal diode, you can be given with the silicon diode or a germanium diode. In such a case, your Vm will change, and with this Vm, you will have to repeat all the other procedures. Now the next problem is, here we are going to consider a silicon based PN junction diode, which is connected here with R equal to 1 kilo ohm and one more R, which is the load resistor, that is also given as 1 kilo ohm. Now we need to find out the V0 and IR for the circuit. IR is the current through this resistor because it is marked in the circuit itself, and V0 is the voltage across, the output voltage, or you call that as the load voltage across this resistance 1 kilo ohm. And we are also given in the problem that the input voltage range is going to vary from plus 10 volt to minus 10 volt. So based on this, we need to identify what will be the output voltage and the current through the resistor 1 kilo ohm. Considering the potential drop across the diode as 0.7 volt, now we can understand that the V0 will be exactly equal to 0.7 volt because we have considered R equal to 1 kilo ohm only. So V0 we can write it with the voltage division rule. So this have not understood the voltage division rule properly. The video link is shared in the description box below. Please do watch that because here we have two resistors that are connected in series. Then definitely there will be division of voltage that is happening. So output voltage we can write it as 1 by 1 kilo ohm plus 1 kilo ohm because both the resistors are of 1 kilo ohm value into input voltage Vi. And input voltage we need to understand what is that. So V0 will be equal to 0.7 volt because the diode will conduct only when V0 is 0.7 volt. So once you substitute that, your Vi will be 1.4 volt. And for input voltage greater than or equal to 1.4 volt, the silicon based PN junction diode will enter into on state. And therefore V0 will be equal to 0.7 volts. And similarly for Vi less than 1.4 volt, my silicon diode will not be in on state. Instead, it will enter into an open state circuit. Now when the silicon diode is open, we will have V0 to be equal to 1 kilo ohm. Again apply the same voltage division rule plus 1 kilo ohm into Vi, which is going to be Vi by 2. And for Vi equal to minus 10 volt because we are considering the diode to be in open state. So when the diode is going to be in open state when Vi is less than 1.4 volt. So in this case we are going to consider that Vi is going to be minus 10 volt, which is actually less than 1.4 volt. At this case only my silicon diode was in off state. Okay, so now substitute this Vi equal to minus 10 volt, you will be getting V0 equal to minus 10 by 2, which is equal to minus 5 volt. This is the complete sketch of the output voltage where during the forward bias of the diode during the on state when the Vi was greater than or equal to 1.4 volt, we get the output voltage V0 equal to 0.7 volt across the load resistor 1 kilo ohm, and during the reverse bias when my input was less than 1.4 volt, my silicon diode was in off state, which means the open circuited state, and in such case we have got V0 to be equal to minus 5 volt. So that is what I have plotted here. Now we need to consider when V0 is equal to 0.7 volt, what is the maximum voltage across the first resistance that we had as 1 kilo ohm. So VR we need to measure, only then we can find out IR because we are asked to calculate IR. So VR max will be VI max minus 0.7 volt. Okay, because you need to consider the circuit which we had this one. So across this circuit you need to write down. So this you have Vi and we can write down what is Vi max, and across this silicon junction diode we have another 0.7 volt drop, and we are finding out for this resistance the voltage drop across this resistance, and ultimately we need to find out what is the current through the resistance IR. So therefore VR max will be Vi max, which was equal to 10 volt minus 0.7 volt because plus 10 to minus 10 volt was the variation with respect to the input signal, and this will give us 9.3 volt of maximum voltage across the resistance. And if we have to calculate IR max, then it is VR max by that particular resistance, or now it is equal to 1 kilo ohm, and VR max we know it is 9.3 volt, so therefore this one will be 9.3 milliamps. And I have plotted the IR current which is across that resistance 1 kilo ohm during the forward bias. Now when during the negative half cycle of the input, where we will have VI to be equal to minus 10 volt in one condition, and in such a case what will be the I max in the reverse direction, that we need to identify. Only then this sketch will be complete. So therefore I max will be again 1 kilo ohm divided by 1 kilo ohm plus 1 kilo ohm, the load resistance, because it will be open circuit. So if it's an open circuit, you understand that you have 1 kilo ohm resistance here, and this silicon diode during this Vi equal to minus 10 volt will be reverse bias, so it will be open, and therefore you will have one more resistance. So you need to consider this resistance effect also. This will be two resistors that are connected in series, and you will have Vi here, and you need to find out this IR. This IR will now actually flow across this load resistance also. That is why we do this calculation into Vi, and that Vi is nothing but minus 10 volt. So I max in the reverse conduction will give us 1 by 2 into Vi, which is equal to minus 10 by 2, which is equal to minus 5 milliamps. So therefore, if we draw here, this is going to be minus 5 milliamps. So this is another approach on how to deal with half-wave rectifier based circuits. So here we have dealt with silicon based PN junction diode, and therefore we are bound to understand the voltage drop across the diode, and then we need to understand when the diode is going to enter into on state and an off state, and with that we have calculated what was the output voltage across this resistor and the current through the initial resistance, which was IR. So both the plots were asked and we have just completed that. Hope you all have understood how to solve simple diode based half-wave rectifier circuits, and we have seen two different problems and two different analyses. I have taught you how to deal, and next we will extend our discussion with the full wave rectifier circuits and its associated problem. Until then, stay tuned. Thanks for watching this video through Electronics Insight channel.